The psychology of people who don't post. The silent side of social media. Why some people never post online and what that says about them. The hidden minds of the offline generation. Have you ever noticed someone who never posts anything? No selfies, no updates, no opinions. Just watching. Today we'll explore the psychology of people who don't post, who live quietly in the digital crowd. In a world that never stops talking, some people choose silence. No selfies, no opinions, no, this is what I'm eating today. They scroll, they observe, but they never post. You probably know someone like that. Maybe you are that person. In a time when sharing is seen as proof of existing, the ones who don't post stand out, not because they seek attention, but because they don't. But what's behind that silence? What's the psychology of people who resist the pull to broadcast their lives? Today, we're going to explore that question through privacy, personality, motivation, fear, and something much deeper, peace. To understand those who don't post, we have to first understand why most people do. Social media rewards visibility. Every post, every like, every comment, it's a small hit of dopamine. It tells our brain, you exist, you're seen. Humans have always sought belonging, but online belonging has become a performance. We curate, we edit, we filter, not just our photos, but our lives. Posting has become a form of social proof, a signal that says, I'm here, I'm relevant, I matter. And yet, some people step away from that game entirely. They don't measure themselves through likes or followers. They find identity elsewhere. So, who are they? Let's start with one of the simplest explanations: privacy. For some, not posting isn't a rebellion, it's protection. Privacy is power. It's control over your own narrative. People who value privacy often have strong personal boundaries. They might be introverts, not necessarily shy, but selective about where they put their energy. They prefer conversations to broadcasts, moments to memories. In psychology, this ties to a trait called conscientiousness, a tendency toward caution, self-regulation, and responsibility. And there's something else. Once you post something, it's no longer fully yours, your photo, your thought, your moment. It lives on servers, in screenshots, in algorithms. There's another reason people don't post. They don't need to. Psychologists talk about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is doing something for reward, likes, attention, validation. Intrinsic motivation is doing it for its own sake, because it feels right. Non-posters often lean toward the intrinsic. They take photos for memory, not for the feed. They write journals instead of captions. They live experiences instead of documenting them. As the psychologist Edward Dacey wrote, the more we try to control life through external reward, the less joy we find in simply living it. In a world obsessed with visibility, they find freedom in being unseen. Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something and didn't post it? Would it still feel meaningful? Would it still be real? For many non-posters, that's the point. Not everyone who doesn't post is disconnected. Some are deeply engaged, just quietly. They're what online communities call lurkers, observers, listeners, watchers of the digital world. They read, they learn, they absorb. They might even feel more connected than the people constantly posting, because they see patterns others miss. Psychologically, these people often score high in reflectiveness and empathy. They process before they respond. They understand before they act. For them, silence isn't absence, it's attention. And sometimes that's the most powerful form of communication. But silence isn't always peaceful. For some, it's born from anxiety. Posting can feel like stepping onto a stage, and the audience can be ruthless. The internet never forgets, and it rarely forgives. People with social anxiety or perfectionist tendencies may avoid posting because the pressure to get it right is exhausting. Every caption feels like a test, every photo feels like a performance, and so they retreat. Not because they don't have something to say, but because they fear how it'll be received. Psychologists call this evaluation apprehension, the fear of being judged. For these individuals, the silence isn't rejection of social media, it's self-preservation. Then there are the rebels, the ones who could post but choose not to. They've seen how social media fragments attention, hijacks emotion, and shapes identity. They practice what author Cal Newport calls digital minimalism, the art of focusing your online life on what truly adds value. For them, non-posting is a statement. It's saying, I refuse to measure my worth through metrics. It's a conscious rejection of the dopamine economy. These are the people who seek peace in disconnecting. They find joy in boredom, depth in privacy, and authenticity in being offline. It's not that they're antisocial, they're just anti-noise. What happens when you stop posting? Something interesting. You start living. Without the urge to document, moments become more vivid. Conversations last longer. Memories become personal again. People who don't post often invest more deeply in real-world relationships. They find fulfillment not in the quantity of their connections, but the quality of them. Psychologically, this relates to self-determination theory again. Humans thrive when they feel autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When those needs are met offline, the digital world becomes, well, optional. Maybe that's why some of the happiest, most grounded people you know don't need an audience. The ones who don't post aren't mysterious, they're mirrors. They remind us of a truth we often forget. You don't have to be seen to be real. Their silence challenges our noise. Their absence reminds us that life still exists beautifully outside the frame. Maybe they're not hiding. Maybe they're living. So ask yourself, if no one ever saw it, would you still do it? If the answer is yes, that's freedom. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, maybe take a moment, not to post, but to reflect. And if you are someone who doesn't post, this one was for you.